10 years of legacy code. I'm Ads, people call me Ads. Just a word of advice, I'm just sharing my journey. There's no right answer for this, and you just got to find out what works for you, your team, and your companies. So we have a problem, 10 years of legacy code, there's a lot of maintenance, and then you get into a CSS specificity nightmare, or you might have code, CSS code that's untouched and you want to clean it up, but you never get around to it. So I'm just going to run through really quickly my journey. So when I first joined the company, our legacy code had, our CSS had 10,034 lines of non-reusable CSS. It had 1,579 rules. And as designers come and go, it's inconsistent. It wasn't minified and it wasn't GZIP, so I'm guilty. And then 3 years ago, my manager at the time and I were thinking maybe we should move on to a framework. So we based our framework off the OCSS framework and then also the 960 grid. And then we took ideas from SAS and LESS and we made variables in PHP and we compiled our framework together, and it had 850 rules. As our team grew, it was because I wrote the framework. It was a bit. Some of the classes were a bit cryptic. So Craig there, my colleague, likes to refer to my code as Vinci code. So from this space, I ended up kind of looking like this. And then, but then when my current manager, Chris, when he joined, he gave me 5 words. You got to pick the least wrong tool. And that was like a light bulb moment for me. So I've got a quote here from Joel Osteen. Everything you've been through was preparation for where you are right now. So our goal moving forward, we want to use Bootstrap with either SAS or LESS. We're still kind of experimenting. We want to develop a living style guide and improve our tool chain. Improve our tool chain with Node.js so we have smoother developer and deployment processes. We want our code to be leaner and smaller components, minimize tech debt, and because we want to grow the team, we want to increase productivity. So you might ask how. I think the most important thing is to ask questions. You've got to understand and prioritize your business objectives. You've got to for us, the value proposition is we want to move towards mobile first. And then you might ask questions like, are we trying to improve productivity, performance, what browsers should we support, and what is the team comfortable with using? You've got to test the waters. So you might take one section of your site and you might just decide, how am I going to add value to this section of the site and use a brand new framework for that. But bear in mind it is a continuous process and it will keep evolving and changing through time. So some common pitfalls. A lot of people they want to write new code for the sake of new code. They forget the value proposition, and they want to get it out to market really early, and they not forget the lack of browser testing, and you've got to expect to hit a bump in the road. So I'll just share with you a bug that I found lately. So yep, it's with IE 6 to 9. So this is our site, how it normally looks, and this is what happened on IE 6 and 9. So we realized after some investigation that CSS has some limitations. There's a rule of 4,065 selectors only, and the file size comes to roughly 288 kilobytes, and you can't have more than 31 imports and 4 nested add imports. So I think the main thing that you should take away from this is that you shouldn't hate legacy code. You should learn from what you can only make your decision based on what you know at that time. So be prepared that it will keep growing and evolving. So that's me. And if you want to follow us in our company, follow us on LinkedIn.